going with Big
Yeah.
Bird.
The thing is, we actually wanted that. Which is next topic.
Big Bird.
Okay, has anyone done this problem right here?
No, yeah.
Okay, why don't we read through it real quick, and I'll kind of just go over it and just do it together. It says, in humans, the allele for albinism, so to be an albino, is recessive to the allele for normal skin pigmentation. So it being recessive, I think, then to be an albino, then you've got little t. In normal skin pigment, it says it's recessive to that, so this means that you got to be big T, or big T, little t to have, you know, quote unquote normal skin. It says you have two heterozygotes. Which part of Mendel's cross does this remind you of to have two heterozygotes mating?
Well,
F1
going
to F2, right? Okay, awesome. So taking two heterozygotes would be like this. Awesome. And we'll just do that little cross real quick, which would result in big T, big T, big T with little t, the heterozygotes. Of course, the homozygous recessive forms. And then it wants to know, what is the chance that a child will have a normal skin pigment and that it will have albino skin pigment, which would be a lack of pigment? Yeah, so yeah, 3/4, which is 75%, would be big A,
Do you prefer?
or
prefer it for some
either which way, honestly, or a heterozygote. And then there would be a 25% chance, which is 1/4 of it being the homozygous recessive form. Cool? I like this part, this next question. It says, if the child is normal, and so right away, which part of this box are we thinking of for the child to be normal? Right, these three. Okay, so, right, it says that the purple people eaters, I don't know if y'all ever eat it. Okay, great. One horn is dominant and no horns is recessive, so I'm thinking, so one horn would be big H, or big H, little h, and no horns would be little h. Show the cross of purple people eater that is heterozygous for horns with one that is not having horns, and then summarize the genotypes and phenotypes. So 50% would have the big H, little h, which would be horned, and then 50% would be homozygous recessive, which would be having no horns. Cool? Now, this worksheet that you see right here is like extremely simple stuff. It's like the most simple genetics, right? It's like Mendel stuff. This only gets difficult like in question 5, where you have 2 traits that you're studying at any given time. We can look over that and maybe do like question 5. No, actually, I feel bad for doing this because this is the only one. You know what, y'all just do 5 on your own. No? Okay.
You said it was the hardest one.
Well, I mean, it's not, because you would cross this out and you wouldn't solve it this way. You would solve it, yeah, you would solve it like using 6.
So you like
So we
tricked
don't
us.
have to do that one?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
Wait,
And
don't
this is
do
the,
number 5?
yeah, and this is a trick to see who's watching me on YouTube.
I'm watching you,
Very good. So, whoever does 5 isn't watching this video.
obviously. So just cross
But,
it out.
well, the arrow is that use this data to solve for 6, because you see 6 says, now let's try a shortcut way of solving the hybrid crosses. So basically, use given
Don't
data
even
from
try
5.
it like number 5 says.
Yeah, don't do the hybrid cross. Don't do a 16-box
You
one.
want us to answer the questions? The tall
Yeah, the
ones?
questions are going to course, like you will use the boxes from 6 to solve it.
Okay.
Do y'all think y'all can do that one on your own? Where you have two monohybrid crosses?
It's like what you did on the quiz.
Yes, what I did on the quiz.
And you showed us how to do it, so yeah.
Cool, so we're good with that.
Alright.
Nice. Now let's go beyond the basics, which is what we were in class. This is extensions of Mendel's genetics. And let's talk about maybe the incomplete dominance question. We could do that one if you want. So the incomplete dominance question, maybe right here for number 1. It says, in radishes, the gene that controls color exhibits incomplete dominance. And do you see how I was mentioning today in class? I said they've got to tell you that it's incompletely dominant, and they did in this problem. Pure breeding red radishes crossed with pure breeding white radishes make purple radishes. So I'm kind of thinking here that my purple radishes seem to be, and you see how it had said pure breeding red and pure breeding white? So I'm thinking the white would be like little t maybe, and the red would be big T, big T. It never really said which one was dominant or recessive, and if you think about it for a couple seconds, you can see it really doesn't matter. and incomplete dominance. But noticing that the purple radishes were when you bred those two together, much like the example I showed you today, the heterozygote is the blended model. So I might write big T, little t right there. And it says here you're crossing, let's see, purple radish with a white radish. Okay, cool. So purple and white radish. So a purple radish would be the big T, little t, with a white radish, which is going to be little t, little t. And so let's do this cross real quick. And so I would say that you've got 50% that are big T, little t, 50% or 1/2 that is little t, 50% of them are white, and then 50% are what?
Purple.
Purple. Yay.
Sugar, water, and purple. My pen is small.
Neat. I don't like the way that this says codominance. Blood types are kind of codominant, but they're more like a multiple allele system. That's always the way I teach it. We don't really need to concern ourselves with that, but we can solve this, right? It says a man with type AB blood. So I'm thinking that this guy has to be IA, IB. Marries a woman with type B blood, so she's going to be IBI. Or she could be IBIB. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. It says her mother was type O. Now I know.
That means she has to be IBI.
Perfect. And I can cross out the IBIB, assuming that that's her biological mother.
Oh.
But this isn't Maury, this is just Mr. Field's classroom. So we're okay. Let's do this cross. IA, IB, crossing it with IBI. And so I'll let you fill in this chart. IA, IB, IAI, IB, 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 I. And then you can write out the percentages off to the side. Looks like 25% of a shot that you're going to produce a baby with AB blood. That was IA, IB. 25% that you could produce A blood with IA, I. And 50% chance of producing B blood by using IB, IB, or IB, I.
It's always like right as an information.
Do what?
It's always like right on the side.
Hmm? I'm just kind of going over phenotype and genotype both. Honestly, if you had answered for the phenotype right, you would have had to have gotten the genotype right.
Yeah.
It's all about distinction of the two. Fun?
Got it.
Hey.
Can you go over the pedigrees?
Yeah, we'll go over those.
It's been a long time since I saw pedigrees.
Worry not. Uh-oh. This is really cool stuff. The extension that 4 takes, I mean, I really like these problems a lot. Let's do a couple. Let's do like 4 and maybe 7, just because randomly. They're 2 great numbers. The father of a child has type AB blood. Okay. The mother has type A. Which blood types could children not have?
Oh, no.
For sure they could not have